generation and beyond, right? The upbringings of yesterday and the upbringings of today. Also, I would like to know from you all as the people, does the money make the man, or does the man make the money? Really? Because I be thinking about these things. Does the man make the money, or does the money make the man? I see y'all stepping into the building. Smash like for me, please. It's free. It don't cost you nothing but a finger press. Like literally, that's all it is. You just push it and it's over. All right. Respect. So I'm going to give my take on these things before we kick it off and get into the main part of this whole segment. I'm going to be honest with y'all. The way that I look at these things as childhood upbringing. When I was coming up, I do personally remember children as well as adults were definitely much more held to a standard. Okay? And I also knew the difference between the boundaries that has been set. Okay? You know, when I was coming up, there was a difference between the child and the parent. Yes, there was. There was a difference between the child and the parent. When I was coming up, parents weren't trying to be their kid's friend. That's just what I remember. Parents were parents, and the kids were the kids. I also remember growing up, parents weren't trying to be their children, nor were the children trying to be their parents. What do you mean by that, Smitty? I'll tell you. Parents stayed in a parental position. They stayed in what I would consider to be the parental position. They didn't step outside of that realm. They didn't try to compete with their sons and their daughters. You see? They weren't concerned about being the cool mom on the block. Although we had those every once in a while growing up, and we took them as the cool mom on the block. And guess what, though? They were the cool mom on the block, but we never took them serious. We never really looked at them as real parents because they were the cool mom on the block. You see? I remember these things. I remember so much as far as the difference in the dynamic between when we were coming up and how things are set up now. I personally believe, now if I'm wrong, you can, chime in. The chat is free as well as the like button. It don't cost you to type. So I look at it as more so of a huge difference. We've been spread apart. It was more so back when I was coming up. There was much more respect for our elders. We had respect for our elders. When I was coming up, we would actually make way for the elders coming through. We would try to help them with their bags, the whole nine. We actually would say things like, I don't know, good afternoon, Mr. Such and Such. Good morning, Mr. Blah, whatever. We showed and we paid our respects to those who actually were those who came before us. And now I notice from the music and everything else, right? It's like, oh man, F y'all old heads. I ain't trying to hear that OG. And it's really no respect. It's really no respect when it comes to how the young ones come up today and how it used to be. Now, if we was to move on to the whole dynamic of does money make the man or does the man make the money? Back in the day, the man used to make the money. The money didn't make the man. Unfortunately, nowadays, society has pushed a lot of our men to think and believe that you have to lead with your wallet. Society has pushed a lot of us to believe that if you don't have the money, or no, let me reword that. If you don't show off your money, you're nothing. It's this weird dynamic that's going on. We have to now show, everything that we do. No one is allowed to just be themselves. No one is allowed to just simply live and get the same respect as someone as who was considered, in my opinion, the gaudy ones. You're just being gaudy. That shit tacky. That's how I look at it. People with real class, a lot of the flaunting, a lot of the making you feel like money makes you as the person, as opposed of you being the person that makes the money, you look cheap. It's tacky. There's no class behind that. Why you think, we can go down the list of the richest people in the world. They don't dress nothing like the rappers that you know. But yet the rappers that we know and the entertainers that we know, like even the basketball players, whatever, all these grills and shit and chains, it's like if you don't present yourself in that way, and we really have as a society, we have fooled ourselves into believing that that is how you have to present yourself. You have to present yourself as if like you're someone that really got it like that. Whole T, you got bills. You got bills. You got shit you gotta take care of. You really can't afford. You can't afford to do what the fuck you flaunting and acting like you doing. You can't afford that shit. But society has made it so pressured upon us to go ahead and make us feel like if you don't show that off, if you don't make it clear that every weekend you're always out at a fancy restaurant, if you don't make it clear that every summer and every, you're that person that can take that trip to Jamaica during Thanksgiving and Christmas time. You got to show off these things. You can't just be yourself. And that's something that's been hugely indoctrinated to our society. I'm talking about us and our community as black people. We always been known of the people of the earth. We not the people of the earth no more. We used to be. We used to be the people of the earth. Not no more. Now, it's this thing of like, you know what? In order to be the best out here, I gotta show how surface, how shallow, how basic I am. We don't want to highlight those of us who truly have an intricate mind, and those of us who truly are of a deep thought, those of us who really are in tune spiritually, as well as in tune with ourselves. You know what that's considered in our community? That's considered whack. It's considered corny. Why? Because we have made it so that the money makes the man. The man don't make the money.